All right, welcome to Check Your Understanding number 3 in section 3.3. So we are going to solve a radical equation this time. Solve this equation, then verify the solution. All right, guys, so how do you approach this? The suggested way of doing this is to isolate the one with the radical and get everything else on the other side of the equal sign. Now, when I say isolate the one with the radical, I'm talking about this one. Okay. So let's move this 4 over to the other side. So by subtracting 4 from both sides, oops, this cancels out. We now have root of 6 minus x is equal to x minus 4. Yeah? Okay. What's the next step? To get rid of the radical, we have to square both sides, right? Now, careful, you have to square x minus 4, the whole thing. Okay? Now, when we squared this square root, the square of the square root would just give us 6 minus x because the square root and the square cancels out. On the other side, now guys, we are multiplying a binomial by itself. In the test, I saw some of you come up with this, which is probably the result of squaring this x squared is x squared, and then squaring negative 4 positive 16. That is incorrect, okay? Because to be able to square this binomial, you are multiplying, oops, sorry, you are multiplying x minus 4 by itself. So what you should have is this, x minus 4 times x minus 4, right? That's what's actually happening. So that would be x squared minus 4x minus 4x, that would be minus 8x, negative 4 times negative 4 plus 16. Now, for some of you who don't want to go this route, it's like, oh, that's too long for me. Is there a quick way of doing it? The answer is yes. You will notice that this x squared is the result of x times x. This negative 8x is actually the first times the second term, x times negative 4. That would be negative 4x times 2. While the 16 is the result of negative 4 times itself. You good? All right. So let's continue. When you get to this point, again, gather everything to one side and make it equal to 0. So I would move that x to the other side. I would also get rid of this 6 here. All right. So let's take a look. Cancels out, cancels out. Oh, 0 here. X squared minus 7x plus 10. All right. Now, guys, again, we will be ending up with something like this, an x here and an x here because of FOIL, right? Two numbers that multiply to 10 and add up to negative 7. That would be negative 5 and negative 2. Therefore, each of these would be made equal to 0. X minus 5 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. And x equals 5 and x equals 2. Now let's do the check part, all right? Verify. All right. What is the original equation? So verify. The root of 6 minus x is plus 4 equals x. Okay. So let's check the first one. If x equals 5, is it going to work? Let's see. So we have root of 6 minus 5 plus 4. Is that going to give me a 5? All right. Root of 6 minus 5 is root of 1 plus 4. Is that going to be 5? And obviously, root of 1 is 1. 1 plus 4. Is that going to be 5? And 5, of course, is equal to 5. So that checks out. What about x equals 2? All right. If x equals 2, let's see. The root of 6 minus 2 plus 4 is that equal to 2? So the root of 6 minus 2 is the root of 4 plus 4. Is that equal to 2? Obviously, the root of 4 is 2 plus 4. Is that equal to 2? Hey, wait a minute. What do you notice? 6 is not equal to 2. What does that tell us? It is an extraneous root because we solved the equation and we came up with a value that does not work once you plugged it back in. All right. The extraneous root is x is equal to 2. Okay. And that's the end of check and understanding number 3. Please do the practice question. Bye now.